Okay, we'll just start straight away with questions. If we can use the mic, please.
Yeah, sure. Brendan, first of all, how's Doris de Vries in terms of his fitness?
Yeah, he's trained yesterday and trained today. Still a bit sore, but he's fine.
Given he was the man in possession before Saturday, is he still likely to start tomorrow? Is that the way
Craig Gordon will start tomorrow.
Right. What's your thinking behind that then?
As it is for every game, I pick the team to come in and play. Doris isn't 100%. Obviously, after the weekend, he's obviously trained and worked with the team, but there's no need for us to take any risk in a game like this here when I've got an outstanding goalkeeper beside him. So Craig will play.
Greg has been talking about how he wants to work and try and work out how he can be your number one. I guess you must be delighted at his application and what he wants to do to become your number one. I've
been delighted with all the players. I think hopefully the intention to come into here was to improve them all as players, and whether it was the senior ones or the younger ones, and they've all applied themselves really, really well. You know, they're a team that want to get better, want to improve, and that's from the goalkeepers right the way through. So I'm being delighted with every single one of them.
You've talked about the step up that you're going to face tomorrow. What do you think you can do to cause Man City problems?
Well, they're a team that's at the really top of the game. I've watched Man City and worked against them over the course of the last 4 or 5 seasons, and they've always had an outstanding group of players, hence going on and winning leagues and cups. But they've certainly, the level of their play has gone up since Pep's come in. The intensity of the game has gone up. And now what you see is a team working collectively with one idea. And when you have top class and world class players working to that level, then of course they're a very, very hard team to contain. For us, we know it's going to be a difficult night, but we hope it's going to be a difficult night for them. You know, Celtic Park traditionally is a very, very difficult place to come and play. You get over 60,000 fanatical supporters here, which will be backing us, and one thing's for sure, we won't be as passive as what we were in the last game. I think since we've worked together, which is only since the summer, we've been very much a team that's been defending forward and being aggressive in our play, both with and without the ball. And probably the only time that didn't take place was away in Barcelona, which is understandable for some of the players, because much better teams than us have struggled there. And probably the first half away at Inverness. Apart from that, we've been really aggressive in our game. And the players now are ready to begin for real, what I would say, is our attempts here in the Champions League.
You went with 5 at the back against Barcelona. Are you likely to go back to what you know best at Celtic Park?
Well, see, it's irrespective of the system that we play, how I work. It's always about the style of football, with and without the ball. You know, for us, it's about looking to dominate and looking to be aggressive, but of course you have to respect the opponent as well. So we know we're playing against a team that's, you know, a real high level, but we in this competition have to ensure that our home games are very important for us in particular. And I think Celtic's record here over the course of, I think it's about 24 games here, Champions League games, but they've only lost 3 games. So that tells you how difficult it is to come and play here. So, but for us, we've got to do it on the field, but we respect it's going to be a really, really tough game.
Have you been to a Champions League group stage game here before?
I've been involved in the Champions League game here before, the qualification stage, but I've never been involved, no, in a group game, no.
How much are you looking forward to that atmosphere here?
Very much so. I think that when I look at the qualification games here, and in particular the last game, you know, the whole thing around the Champions League, part of it is the build-up and the music before the game, and you couldn't hear it. It was so loud. So I think, you know, the work that's gone into getting to the Champions League here, it's great for the supporters, and like as I said, they really are a 12th man here. There's a noise that comes out of Celtic Park that you don't hear anywhere else, and they're going to be vital for us tomorrow night.
Brendan, you say Barcelona were probably the best team in the world. How would you rate Man City in comparison to them?
Well, it's a different level. That I think Barcelona have been out there for the last 10 odd years or so as arguably the world's best team, and at this moment, these last couple of years, they've been functioning at a high level. What makes this different, the game different, is at home. You know, we're playing at home here, and our learning, hopefully, that takes place after the first game means that we're not a team that can be so passive. You know, it's not how we work, it's not how we train every single day, and it's not the notion of how we want to play. But like I say, Man City are a top team. You know, I think everyone can see that clearly, and that the players and how they're working and how they're collectively working, which is important. And then they have that world class ability. So when you marry that all together, it's a real potent team. So for us, we know we have to bring our A game to have any chance, and that's something that we hopefully can do.
Why do you think the team is so passive in the new camp?
It's belief. Ronnie, it's, you know, they're not robots. You know, they're human beings. You know, lots of these players, in particular, the Champions League, there's about 3 odd seasons since the club been in it, and that moves on, and each year you're not in it and playing against that level of opponent, then at times you can, you know, your belief. Sometimes you're not sure if you should be at the level, but you have to take on board that they were playing against, as I said, a team of that level, and of course when you didn't make the start that we made, then to concede after the 3 minutes was difficult for them. And then for us and for lots of teams, it's a long night. We tired towards the end. That was another factor in the game. We'd come off the back of a huge game on the Saturday, very little preparation time, and we're straight into the game on the Tuesday. So lots of factors, but our most important idea after the game was to learn from it. As disappointed as we were, if we can be better for it, and I think that's the process over the next couple of years here. We need to be in these competitions in order to help the club develop, to help the players develop, and once you're in it consistently like that, then that gives you the belief that you can go and make an impact, and certainly for us, this is the beginning of that.
Do you know your team for tomorrow night? I know Cole was out the weekend. You also came in. Do you have decisions to make?
No, I know the team. The players know the team, so they're all prepared.
Brendan, you've talked about your team being more aggressive and wanting a better performance from the Barcelona game. As a manager, do you enjoy sort of pitting your wits against somebody like Guardiola and trying to come up with a game plan for a team like Manchester City with all these world-class players in it? Yeah,
it's really exciting. You know, I've always had that. Listen, they're collectively, you know, an outstanding team. You know, they've got great individual players that are working hard. So for us, you know, the reality is if they bring their A game and we bring ours, they win. But we know we have to make it as uncomfortable as we can for them. But as a coach and as players, these are the types of occasions and games that you look forward to. So for us, we really look forward to it. You know, we have a respect for their game and their qualities, but we have to ensure that, you know, we are super committed into our way of working, and we know that we have players that can give them a problem. So, but we look forward to it. It should be a great night.
Depending on the performance, obviously, given the golf and the resources and everything like that, would you see a draw as being a good result tomorrow night, or are you approaching this focused on getting a win? Yeah,
you never enter into the game looking just for a draw. You know, you have to see how the game goes. You know, you could create 4 or 5 really good chances in the game and draw the game and feel you should have won it. So at this moment in time, you know, Celtic's, you know, this is a huge club here. Of course, it's night and day difference in terms of, you know, the platform for both teams in terms of the leagues that they play in and the resources. But like I say, we have to collectively be together as a team and try and find a way, if we possibly can, to get the result. And I know the players are, you know, very focused on achieving that.
Brendan, what do you make of the threat in particular posed by Raheem Sterling tomorrow? Obviously, you know him very, very well, and he seems to have come onto a game after a difficult first season at Man City.
Yeah, I've been so proud to watch him this season playing and to the level that he's been at. Absolutely delighted for him because he was a great boy to work with. think back to the time, you know, he was a young kid at Liverpool, and to see him grow from that 17-year-old that made his first sort of appearance really for me in the first start against Manchester City, funny enough. His first start was against Man City at Anfield. And from that to see his growth, not only as a young player, but as a person over the 3 odd seasons was, it was great. He, a great kid. I think it was difficult for him, of course, when he left that first season. It always is when you've got so much expectation on you. You know, you leave Liverpool for £49 million and you're expected to perform straight away, and you have to remember he's a boy that's just, you know, he's 21 years of age. He went there at 20. So, but really shown that with, you know, a focus and with a way of working and a way of playing, he's a top class player. I think for a season or so he drifted. Maybe, you know, maybe not so much to do with him. I think he needs to be in a clear structure, a clear way of playing and a clear way of working. And when he's in that, he's one of the world's leading young talents. Super fast, dynamic, great in the 1v1. He's very strong. And I always look out for players that I work with and like to see them do well. And none more particular than him, because he was absolutely brilliant for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully he doesn't play so well. But at this moment in time, he's in great form.
You work out a way to stop him.
Well, you can't kick him, that's for sure, because he's very, very strong. He's one of the strongest young guys you'll come across. He doesn't look it maybe, but he's a big talent, and as I say, delighted for him, because he's not only that, he gets a wee bit of stick when he travels to games still, which I don't understand why. But he's a great boy as well. You know, he always wanted to train every single day. Never had a lazy day. Wanted to improve. Wanted to be better, and gave his all for Liverpool when I was there. So, and great to see him do so well. And I'm sure Pep knows he's got a big talent.
I wonder, can we also get your view on the big story today? Is obviously a lot of allegations surrounding the England manager at the moment. We also understand that potentially 8, maybe even more than that, other top managers have been approached by the Sting team that were involved with Sam Allardyce. Can you confirm that you were or were not one of those who was approached? It's obviously
what a tactic that is, and poor guy getting into a job, and it's actually embarrassing in some points of the profession. But I've got nothing to say on it, really. Nothing to say. I heard it this morning on the way in, so but nothing to add to it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Quickly, any other injuries or team news?
No, every single person in our squad is fit. So
Good to go.
good to go, yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Brendan.
Okay, thank you.